It's the Idaho Painter. In this video, I'm going to show you how to repair a crack in a ceiling. We've got a ceiling right here in this home. This home is up for sale and the homeowners moved out and they never saw the crack in the ceiling before, but there's a settling crack right up here in the ceiling. I'm going to show you what it looks like with video camera, but there's a couple ways that we can fix that. The homeowners just want it fixed inexpensively so you can't see it, and so the crack will be repaired. So I'm hoping that you can see this crack in the ceiling right here. It's just a settling or expansion crack. We call them settling cracks. So my crack is right above me. I've got my supplies. I've got two spackle knives, just going to determine which one is going to work best when I get up there. I'll probably gonna use the wider knife. It's just a 3-inch knife. Here's my caulking right here. This is the Sherwin's 950A caulking, and this caulking bonds really well and stretches really well, and it doesn't shrink very much either, so I like it a lot. And then I'm going to be using Crawford's vinyl spackling to go over that. So I'm going to caulk that crack, and then I'm going to wipe it out and just make it a little bit concave, and then we're going to put some spackling right over the top of that, and it's going to hide it pretty well. And then we'll come back another day and or later on today, and then we'll paint right over it with our touch-up paint. So now I'm up here and I can see this crack, and if there's any spots that have popped out or protruded out, you just want to knock those down with your knife and just scrape them down. This is a pretty flat crack, so I don't have to do anything, and so I'm just going to start caulking it, and I'm just going to cut myself a really small hole in my caulking gun. I don't want to get a whole lot of caulking up there. I just want enough caulking just to fill that crack up there. So I got myself just a little angled cut on my caulking gun, and now I'm just going to start filling this thing in. Just put a nice light bead over it. I'm just going to fill it in. It's a good idea if you're not really good with the caulking, just to take a wet sponge, and you can just wipe your hand on a wet sponge, and it makes your caulking a little bit more workable. So it only took me about no more than 10 minutes to caulk that crack. It's been about an hour. Been doing some other touch-ups inside this house. Now I'm going to get up there and start the spackling process. Now I know this isn't the best camera shot in the world, but it's way up here on the ceiling, so just doing the best I can. So now I got my vinyl spackling paste. Now I'm just going to start going over this crack, and I can just start blending it in. I can see what the texture is on my ceiling. I'm just going to try to flatten this out and just try to hide that crack the best I can. And then when this spackling dries, then we'll just lightly sand it, and then we'll take and paint our ceiling. Just going to daub it in some certain places, just to attempt to hide it here. You can see some cracks that are some of the spots that are kind of a little bit deep, and so I'm going to just try to fill those in. This is a hand textured ceiling, and so I'm just trying to find the flat spots and the flat spots in the texture. So now my patch is up there. It's given it a couple hours to dry. It's plenty of time. Got my sanding sponge. Just going to hit it with the sanding sponge lightly. This is just a medium sanding sponge. Just got a little brush, touch-up brush. It's a really small area, so I don't need a big brush. And the customer didn't have any of the paint, so I actually had to cut a little piece of the drywall out in one of the closets to do a color match. And I got it color matched into a small quart of paint right here. And now I'm going to just do my touch-up. So I'm just going to barely run my sanding sponge over this just lightly, just to knock down any rough edges, just like that. Now I'm just going to take my touch-up paint and just lightly daub it over that crack to do my touch-up. Just a small brush. Don't want to put a whole lot of paint on, just lightly daub it up here, just touching it up and kind of just feather it in around the edges. I'm kind of just working it, daubing it up here around this crack to just put it up here, and then I'm actually not brushing a ton of paint on, then I'm just kind of what I call dry feathering it out the edges and just daubing it so it gets a nice blend. I don't want to have any brush strokes or have it just brushed out real heavy along the edges. If you dry feather it, it kind of just blends it into the rest of the ceiling. You know, if this color matches it just like 100% dead on.